I now call the Iberia Parish Council meeting to order for October 9th, 2024. The current time now is 6:02. I'll have the pledge led by Councilman Napier and the prayer by Councilman Broussard. Councilman Broussard?
Yeah, I want to say a prayer for the families and the folks in Florida that have a Cat 4 hurricane bearing down on them right now. A few minutes ago, we read that it's gone down to 120, but we all know the angst and anxiety that carries with hurricane being in the Gulf and coming down at you. So anyway, I'm gonna say a prayer to Saint Medard, who's a patron saint of protection against bad storms. We ask you to intercede for us during the storms of our lives, as well as the storms in nature. Protect our families and our homes. We pray for assistance for the victims of snowstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and other natural disasters. Loving God, send in more helpers and multiply resources and supplies for the aid of those in need. You calm the storm of the Sea of Galilee. Deliver us from the storms that are raging around us now. Saint Medard, pray for us. Amen.
Amen. Councilman Napier?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just to remind the general public, please turn your cell phones on silent or vibrate. Madam Clerk, please initiate the roll call.
Tommy Pollard, Michael Landry, Marcus Broussard, Lloyd Brown, Warren Goshenson,
Here.
Natalie Broussard, Dustin Swear, James Trahan, Scott Ronsonet, Brock Pellerin, Brian Napier, Lady Fontanet Brown, Cayman Crapel, and Chad Mathurin.
We have 12 members in the quorum. Moving on to council member announcements. Members, anyone on announcements? We do have one from the gentleman from District 2 is recognized.
Yes, just want to pass on to everyone. St. Edward's Church will have the annual fair next weekend, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. We have Chan's Books. We also we have a parade Saturday. We will be selling fish dinners Friday and barbecue dinners Sunday. So anybody who want to come, if you want to take some chances or whatever, you can speak to me or Lloyd Brown or D, our one of our clerks. So we'll be doing it. Also, myself with Larry and Lady Brown attended the regional meeting for our district for Louisiana Police Juror. We got a wealth of information. We also have one of our state delegations sitting with us. But one of the things that on the solar panels, which we've been getting a lot of the solar farms, the state is coming up with a plan. And I think within the next 6 months, I may be wrong, but they should have a plan and some stuff that we could use as a guideline. So I know everybody around this table, we've been having a lot of discussions with that. So and also we talked about a lot of things, the tax plan in particular that the governor is proposing, and I would hope when our parish president gets a lot of information on it, we can look at it, because a lot of stuff is coming down the pike. Thank you all. That's good.
The gentleman from District 2 yields back. The gentleman from District 3 is recognized on the question.
Yeah, just a reminder, 34th annual Gumbo Cook-Off, World Championship Gumbo Cook-Off this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. James Trahan versus Marcus Broussard. I think I've already given up, but and we're next door neighbors. So anyway, just want to remind you guys it's coming on this weekend downtown, and Saturday and Sunday got I think Youth Gumbo Cook-Off. I'm trying to read off of the note here. Cajun Creole Fest 11 to 3, Youth Gumbo Cook-Off serving at 12. That'd be Saturday. Live music in the evening, and then of course Sunday's the big show. So,
Councilman Broussard, maybe you said it, or maybe I didn't catch it. Are you cooking?
yeah, I'm supporting and cooking.
Okay, because I would love a little friendly fire challenge between
No, it's
Trahan and Broussard. It'd be a nice
it's
challenge.
more friendly. It's going to be different.
More roux this year?
He went up. Did you go up? Inflation? Did you go up? Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you.
The
Bubba.
gentleman from District 3 yields back. Members, anyone else on comments? Hearing and seeing none, moving on to parish president comments.
If I can tap on a little bit what Michael Langley was saying, also, Mike, the representatives that we had there was Representative Boyer and also Representative Marcus Bryant. So both of them attended the Region 3 with us. Can you hear me?
It's not on.
Is it on now?
Good.
Can you hear me?
You good?
Can you hear me? He's saying no. You got me? Okay, I'll start all over. In reference to the regional meeting that we attended last week, State Representative Bo Boyer was there, as well as State Representative Marcus Bryant. Very, very informative meeting that we had. Starting off here, looked like Bo is having some problems again, so I was trying my best to talk on other things, but let's start off with the Public Works Department completion list that they did over the last 2 weeks, which they installed culverts, culverts cleaning. They had some debris pickup, field drainage, road and grading, patching and repairs, side booming, and other work that you can see when the screen come up. That talks about what its work was done inside of Iberia Parish. On tomorrow, pre-bid conference will be held here in the chambers at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning for the 3212 turn lane improvement project. Fence to Make is the project engineers. Bids are scheduled to be open October the 22nd at 10 o'clock in the morning here in the council chamber. Proposals are being accepted for the electrical lighting upgrade to the aircraft hangar located at Mosquito Control. A pre-bid conference will be held on October the 22nd at 9 o'clock in this at the office of Bayrod and Habits and Associates. The deadline for submitting proposals is November the 14th at 11 o'clock. Want to catch up? Look like you're there. Okay. The advertisements for bids has been published for the Teche Bayou Waterworks Treatment Plant Improvement Project. This is a jointly funded project with the City of New Iberia. A pre-bid conference will be held here on Wednesday, October the 30th at 10 o'clock in the morning here in the council chambers, and bids are due on Wednesday, November the 6th. The advertisement for bids have been published for the ULL lift station relocation project. A pre-bid conference will be held on Thursday, October the 24th at 10 o'clock in the morning here in the council chambers. Bids are due on Thursday, November the 7th. Construction of the courthouse cooling tower replacement. That project is underway as of right now. The contract is Gallo Mechanical, and they have until February the 5th of 2025 to complete this project, which we expect that project to be done well in advance of February of next year. The Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development has approved the traffic study for the Hanger Drive Extension project and is revising the roundabout design. The overall project are expected to be finalized by April of 2025, with the roundabout design undergoing several reviews. It's all standard stuff that DOT have you do. Final improvements for this project and permits are anticipated to be done by April of 25, and construction should start about July of next year, and it's going to take about 8 to 10 months for that project to be completed. Household Waste Day is going to be held on Saturday, October the 26th from 9 o'clock in the morning until noon in the back parking lot of the courthouse. This event is for Iberia Parish residents only. IDs will be checked. A detailed list of items that will be allowed and will not be allowed is actually on our Facebook right now, so people can go there and take a look at it on Facebook. But we do need volunteers, so if anyone want to volunteer, just simply call Cindy, and we can use all the volunteers we can possibly get. You might remember a while back the Parish Council passed a no passing zone request to the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development. They conducted a study as a request by us, and the study found that that section of the roadway does not meet the necessary conditions for installation. And there has only been one accident that they said that took place there, and that was in January of 2021. So they will take no action.
One accident. one accident too many.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I don't understand now.
Couple dozen near misses, though, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But
That's
I-
right there on 182 in my
Yes.
district, right?
But I wanted to make sure I would say it
And,
exactly. It's right by the.
No, they marked.
it's not the one on.
No.
We just did the one for the church.
Oh.
This is. Wait a minute. This is the one that they. What is it called? Anna. Huh?
They denied.
Is it the one for the church?
Yeah, that's the one by the church.
They denied.
That's the one by the church.
So they
Yeah.
denied both.
Yeah. So I wanted to make you guys aware of this here. So if I don't say anything, you're gonna be thinking I didn't do something. So they denied it. Okay, State of the Parish. Our State of the Parish that we do every year. Join us for that. That's going to be on November the 19th at 6 o'clock at the Slyman Theater. This is an open invitation to everyone in the community. I'm going to be sharing some important information and updates and the different initiatives that's going on in Iberia Parish right now. So November the 19th, you'll hear me talk about it a bit more before then, but it's a very big deal for us. And I'm going to close right now, Mr. Chairman. I just want to remind everyone to visit Iberia Parish's website and take a look at it. And if anyone ever find anything on that website that they feel need to be improved, just give us a call. It's a very active website. We get a lot of people calling about that site. So we have some good things happening due to this website. So thank you, Mr. Chairman and Council.
Members, at this time, are there any questions for the parish president? Hearing and seeing none. Moving on to public comments. I need a motion to go into public comments. I have a motion by Councilman Capel, second by Councilman Broussard. Vote your machines, members, to go into public session. That motion carries unanimously. We're now into public session. Number one, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on agenda items.
We did not receive any. Number two, Madam Clerk.
Persons being considered for an appointment to parish boards, commissions to address the council.
Anybody in the audience applying or reapplying for a board or commission that hadn't been able to address us? Hearing and seeing none, I need a motion to go back into regular session. I have that motion by Councilwoman Broussard, second by Councilman Broussard. Vote your machines, members. That motion carries unanimously. We're now back into regular session. Moving on to community events and public service announcements. We have number one.
Ms. Deidre Ledbetter to address the council to announce her candidacy for election for the office of Mayor Pro Tem.
Ms. Ledbetter, if you can just state your name and title for the record, please.
Deidre Ledbetter, City Councilwoman, District 4, here in New Iberia.
Welcome, Ms. Ledbetter.
Well, thanks for having me. Mr. Richard, Mr. Goshasan, council members, council staff, staff members, and audience. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here to present myself to some and introduce myself to others for my candidacy for Mayor Pro Tem here in New Iberia. Well, I'm Deidre Ledbetter, and I've been on the city council for 2 terms. I'm termed out. In my first term, we started off with 3 major things that we had to do, and we did those things. The first thing was we had to bring our city out of a deficit. The second thing we had to do was bring NIPD back, and we did that also. And then we formed a master plan for the city of New Iberia. And those things we're still working on today. So most of my education really helped me in the 2 terms that I've been a member of the council. I have been an educator for 33 years. I'm retired. So I've dedicated myself to public service again in 2016 when I started to run for my first term in office. And I also want to continue my public service by serving the entire city as Mayor Pro Tem. My master's in guidance and counseling, my teaching certificate in special ed, and also my doctorate in education leadership has helped me in these 7+ years that I've been on the city council. Worked very well with my fellow council members. Oftentimes people tell me that I don't say a whole lot, during the meetings, but it's very important to listen to what's going on. you can listen to yourself talk all the time if you want to, but listening to others is very important because you understand where they're coming from and you're able to connect with them better. And that's definitely what I do. Well, I want to continue because I'm committed to moving New Iberia forward. I'm not planning on running for any parish office. I'm planning on sticking with the city, and I'm just asking for your support and the audience out there also to vote for me, number 24, on the ballot for council member at large. That's what it is on the ballot. So thank you for having me, and I'm very happy to be here and share with you today.
Members, are there any questions for Ms. Ledbetter at this time? We do have a comment by the parish president.
Councilman Ledbetter, I want to tell you it's been a pleasure working with you for these
Thank you.
7, almost 8 years.
Likewise.
I appreciate the way you handled yourself. I really do. I really do appreciate the way you handle yourself. You're not all over the place. You listen to what's going on, and you address the issues, and try to make things work. So I'm just going to say thank you, and good luck on your race.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you for being here, Ms. Ledbetter. Members, moving on to reports from finance and administrative actions. We have number 1, Madam Clerk.
Balance sheets for July 2024 on request.
Number 2.
Budget reports for July 2024 on request.
Number 3.
Monthly sales and use tax analysis for August 2024 collections for the period of August 1st through 31st, 2024 on request.
Moving on to reports from parish or other governmental agencies, there is none. Public Works reports, number 1, Madam Clerk.
Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated August 28th, 2024 through September 17th, 2024.
Members, you should have received that by email. Number 2, Madam Clerk.
Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated September 18th through 24th, 2024.
That also should have been provided to you by email. Moving on to special business, number 1.
Notice is hereby given that its meeting to be held on Wednesday, November 13th, 2024 at 6:00 p.m. at its regular meeting place in the council chambers, 4th floor, main courthouse building, 300 Iberia Street, New Iberia, Louisiana. The Iberia Parish Council plans to consider adopting a resolution ordering and calling an election to be held in the parish of Iberia, state of Louisiana, to authorize the renewal of the ad valorem tax therein.
Moving on to consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption, we have the minutes of regular meeting September 25th, 2024. Summary number 190, introduced by Marcus Bruce Broussard of District 3.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Ms. Dina Mary Viator Bork, sister of former Councilman John Viator, who passed away on December 7th, 2023.
Summary number 191, introduced by Marcus Bruce Broussard of District 3.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Ms. Jan Viator, mother of Councilman John Viator, former Councilman John Viator, who passed away on February 25th, 2024.
Summary number 192, introduced by Marcus Bruce Broussard of District 3.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Mr. Chris Jude Viator, brother of former Councilman John Viator, who passed away on September 24th, 2024.
Summary number 193, introduced by the parish president.
A resolution authorizing the financial audit contract with Colder, Slavin and Company LLC, certified public accountants, for a 3-year term, which includes audits for 2024, 2025, and 2026.
At this time, members, is there a motion to open consent agenda items? I have that motion by Councilman Landry, second by Councilman Trahan. Councilman Landry. Councilman Trahan. At this time, members, are there any requests to remove a consent agenda item? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on final adoption of those consent agenda items as publicized. That motion carries unanimously. Now moving on to ordinances introduced for public hearing and adoption. We have summary number 5311, introduced by Regional Planning Commission.
An ordinance approving the reclassification request of 6.12 acres of property belonging to Varnessa Castaigne to be rezoned from R2 Mixed Residential to C2 Commercial, located on Highway 14, District 5, subject to compliance with Zoning Commission Staff Report ZC 2024-0006, all as reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission. Note, this item was deferred at the September 18th, 2024 Iberia Parish Council meeting.
Do I have a motion? Members have a motion on the floor by Councilman Pellerin, second by Councilman Trahan. Councilman Pellerin on discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think we wanted Jacob to be here to discuss more on this item, and I don't see Jacob in the crowd. Whenever I'm in order, I'd like to make a motion to defer this one again.
Okay, I'll come back to you if you want to just go ahead and hit your button. I'll come back to you after main motion discussion. I have a second on the floor by Councilman Trahan.
Wait.
Councilman Trahan waves. Members, any main motion discussion on the floor? I feel the same way that you do. I mean, there has to be some justification why we're asking for this reclassification. So, hearing no other main motion discussion, I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Pellerin. If you want to state your motion.
I make a motion to defer this one to, can we make the next meeting? Yeah, we'll defer it to the next meeting.
So that's October 23rd. Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Pellerin to defer to the 23rd meeting, October 23rd meeting. Is that okay with the second by Councilman Napier?
I agree.
Any discussion on that? What motion to defer here and seeing none, vote your machines, members. Deferral for summary number 5311 is deferred. That motion carries. Guess I should vote. That motion carries unanimously. Summary number 5311 is deferred to the October 23rd meeting. Moving on to resolutions introduced for public hearing and adoption, we have summary number 180 introduced by the clerk.
A resolution appointing one member to the Iberia Parish Veterans Memorial Building Advisory Board for a 5-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expiration of term for Ms. Alice Robichaud, whose term expired October 1st, 2024. Applications on file from Ms. Alice Robichaud. Note this item was deferred at the September 25th, 2024 Iberia Parish Council meeting.
Before we open up, clerks, I believe Ms. Robichaud has never been before us yet. Have y'all made contact with her?
Did this morning.
And,
She said she would be here.
okay. I have a motion on the floor to open by Councilman Broussard, second by Councilman Pellerin. Councilman Broussard on discussion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to defer to the next meeting.
To the October 23rd, okay. Let me, I'll hold that and I'll go, is that okay with Pellerin and Landry? Did y'all, okay. Wait, hold on one second. Let me get to, Councilman Pellerin, did you want to waive that second?
Well, I'll maybe finish Landry's statement if she don't come at that meeting, but I think she's the only applicant we have on file, so I mean, if you open it back up, you can open it back up. I mean,
Okay. I'm gonna come to you, Councilman Landry. Are you finished, Councilman? Councilman Pellerin yields back. The gentleman from District 2 is recognized.
If she don't come, I think we need to re-advertise. You know, especially if they got in touch with her. You know, I think we
And she
need
said
to
she
re-
would be here.
Yeah, if she don't come to the next meeting,
Yes.
that's what I would.
We will call her and advise her of same.
Okay. All right, the gentleman from District 2 yields back. The board is clear for main motion discussions. There was a motion on the floor to defer to the October 23rd meeting by Councilman Broussard. Was that okay by Councilman Pellerin? Any discussions on deferment, members here? And seeing none, vote your machines, members. That motion carries unanimously. Summary number 180 is deferred until the October 23rd meeting. Moving on to summary number 181, introduced by the clerk.
A resolution appointing one member to the Jeanneret Veterans Memorial Building Advisory Board Number 2 for a 5-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expiration of term of Mr. Cornell DeCluitt Jr., whose term expires October 1st, 2024. Applications on file from Mr. Cornell DeCluitt Jr. This item was deferred at the September 25th, 2024 Iberia Parish Council meeting.
Clerks, did we reach out to him?
We did. And he advised that he would be present.
Okay. All right, members have a motion on the floor to open up by Councilman Napier, second by Councilman Pellerin. Councilman Napier on discussion.
So, I know Mr. DeCluitt very well. I thought he would, and I haven't talked to him, but look, he's a very good member. I'd like to give him, again, one more shot. He's a good member for that board.
Okay.
And again, if for some reason he doesn't, I would tell him, Carrie, that, you know, we'll give him one more shot. If he doesn't make it, we're gonna have to re-advertise.
Okay.
But he is a good member.
I'll come back to you to defer, okay? I had a second on the floor by Councilman Pellerin.
Wait.
Any main motion discussion, members? Hearing and seeing none, I have a motion on the floor to defer summary number 181 to the October 23rd meeting. Is that okay with the second? I have a second by Councilman Pellerin. Any discussions on deferment, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines to defer summary number 181 to our October 23rd meeting. That motion carries unanimously. Now moving on to summary number 184, introduced by the clerk.
A resolution appointing one member to the Iberia Parish Sewer District Number 1 for a 5-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expiration of term for Mr. William LeBeau, whose term expired August 25th, 2024. Applications of interest on file, Mr. William LeBeau. Note, this item was deferred at the September 25th, 2024 Iberia Parish Council meeting.
Members, just to remind you also, Mr. LeBeau has not been before us, but I did talk to him earlier. So did the clerk, and he's asking that we defer this until the November 20th meeting, if that's okay with you guys. November 20th, correct. Do I have a motion? I have a motion on the floor to open up by Councilman Landry, second by Councilman Trahan. Councilman Landry on discussion?
And he wanted to defer till November.
He had a medical procedure that he's just getting out of the hospital. He's actually in rehab right now.
All right, well, I'll take that.
And he's been a very good member
Yeah,
for us.
I'll
So.
take that, so.
Okay.
I agree with that. I'll defer till.
Okay, I'll come back to you for that deferment. I have a second by Councilman Trahan. Councilman Trahan waives. Anybody on the main motion discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Landry to defer. Is that okay with the second? Yes. Councilman Landry is deferring till November 20th. Any discussions on deferment, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on summary number 184 to be deferred until November 20th. That motion carries unanimously. Now, moving on to summary number 194, introduced by the clerk.
A resolution amending the payee information only in the contract between the Daily Iberian and Iberia Parish Government for publication of classified advertisement for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, at a cost of $10.40 per column inch.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Brown. Do I have a second? Members, not at all at one time, members. Councilman Swear on the second. Councilman Brown on discussion. Councilman Swear.
Waive.
Any main motion discussion, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines. Final adoption, summary number 194 as publicized. Councilman Napier?
Oh. I thought
Oh, I was wrong. 2-0. That motion carries. In opposition is Councilman Pellerin and Councilman Landry. Moving on to summary number 195, introduced by Warren P. Gossison, District 5.
A resolution amending the 2024 Public Building Maintenance Fund budgets in the amount of $5,682 to appropriate funding for AC repairs at the jail facility, all to be funded from the fund balance previous year's line item.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rawson, second by Councilman Pellerin. Councilman Rawson on discussion.
It's our building. Well, we kind of got to pay for it.
You make a good point, Councilman. The gentleman from District 9 yields back. The gentleman from District 10 is recognized.
Yeah, I'll waive to the parish president.
The gentleman from District 10 waives. The parish president to comment.
It is our building, and we're gonna wait. We're gonna get an invoice from the sheriff's office, and we're gonna reimburse the sheriff for this particular deal, so we won't have any types of exceptions. It is our building.
But a lot of people don't realize that it is our building.
Everything about it is ours. Yeah.
Thank you, Councilman Matran. Is the parish president finished? That comment was done? Okay. Anybody else on main motion discussion? Members hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on final adoption, summary number 195 as introduced. That motion carries unanimously. Now moving on to summary number 196, introduced by the parish president.
A resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement with Bayou Teche Waterworks Incorporated for the expansion of a water line to Bayou Road, all to be funded with $170,000 from the Community Water Enrichment Fund grant.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Pellerin, second by Councilman Landry. Councilman Pellerin, discussion.
I wait.
Councilman Landry.
I waive.
Any main motion discussion, members? Comment by the parish president?
We need to change where it says expansion of water line to Bayou Road. It should say Bayou to Bayou Road.
Do you have a motion on the floor to amend that language? Have a motion on the floor to amend the language by Councilman Broussard, second by Councilman Pellerin. Councilman Broussard, did you want to state your amendment to just to Bayou?
Yeah.
Is that okay with the second by Pellerin? Any discussion on the motion to amend by Councilman Broussard?
No, we're good. I'm good.
This is your time, Councilman.
I was starting to say, and then you kept going, but that's fine.
Well, you said yeah. When you
I-
answered yeah, you
I
never
was-
followed
Yeah, and I
up.
was gonna make the
Okay.
amendment to, or the change in to change to Bayou rather than Bayou Road.
Yeah, you gotta be quick.
Woo, I know he's working
Clerk, if we
fast
can,
today.
at the next meeting, if we can get with ponchos to get the little flag, and I won't move until the little flag comes back down. All right, Councilman Broussard, are you finished with that?
I am,
And that's
sir.
concurred by the second by Councilman Pellerin, right? Bayou to Bayou included?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion on the substitute motion, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on the substitute. That motion passes unanimously. Now back to the main motion with the substitute motion in it. Vote your machines on final adoption, members. Summary 196 as amended. Councilman Crapell? That motion carries unanimously. Now moving on to summary number 197, introduced by the parish president.
A resolution amending the 2024 general fund budget in the amount of $12,000 to procure a survey of the Sugarcane Festival building and certain surrounding immovable property in connection with its proposed transfer to the city of New Iberia. Note, a motion to suspend the rules will be needed as this item was not considered by the joint committee.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Broussard. Councilman Brown on discussion. Councilman Broussard. One second. Gotta get through these channels. I sure thought Councilman Broussard had something. Councilman Landry on
I
discussion.
want to waive to the parish president and let him discuss this.
Yeah, well, this is something that we have been working on for quite some time with the mayor. In fact, we started this well before I ended up with leukemia. So I went back and I did a little bit of research when the last time someone met. Mike and Cindy met with the mayor Thursday, March 31st of 2022, to confirm that we was actually going to try to give this building. So in my mind, Iberia Parish government should try to give this building to the city of New Iberia. First of all, we have a piece of property directly in the middle of New Iberia that most people are confused, not even realizing it's for parish government. And we have like 15 acres of land there. So I think this is a good deal for Iberia Parish. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because I looked at the city council meeting this past week, and I got a lot of people don't quite understand how long this thing has been going on. It's not something that started 4 months ago. This is something that's been going on for quite some time. And I want everyone to understand that I think it is a good thing if we can, especially if the city is going to get $2.6 million in capital outlay to actually try to get this building up to par to where it need to be. I think it's a good thing for the citizens of Iberia Parish. So let's make it known to everyone that this is a discussion that's been going on for quite some time, and I think is a good investment, a good move for Iberia Parish, as well as the city of New Iberia. That's it.
Before we go any further, I had a motion on the floor by Councilman Brown. I think the second was by Councilman Broussard. We didn't do the procedure of suspending the rules, so is that okay with both of you if I go back through the rules? Okay, so I had a motion on the floor to suspend by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Broussard. Vote your machines to suspend the rules. Undebatable, members. Vote your machines. That motion carries. The suspension of the rules carry. Now, to open up, I had Councilman Brown and Councilman Landry. Councilman Brown waives, Councilman Landry waives. Anybody else on main motion discussions? I do have one by the gentleman from District 11 as recognized.
So I just wanna understand if we handing over this building,
Mr. Napier, hold on one second. Let me remind, what we're discussing tonight is a motion from the general fund to allocate $12,000 for a survey. I just think we're getting confused. Tonight is not a motion on the floor to move the
My question is gonna be
building.
about that.
Okay, I just want us to be germane. I'm good,
So-
thank you.
And I will be. So I wanna understand why are we paying this on our own? And, I mean, the city's gonna benefit from it, and why are we doing a survey in the first place?
I personally believe that Iberia Parish government needs to do a survey on their own.
Why?
Because we actually,
I can hop
Legal?
on that.
Okay.
So whenever we would basically be doing a subdivision of this property, because we're looking at carving out just the chunk of the Veterans Memorial Building. And then also the city would be doing a subdivision of their property because they're granting us fee simple title to be able to access the Veterans Building after the fact. So state law actually requires a survey. And if we want to do this, you know, as cleanly and correctly as possible, it is a step we should do. As far as the city agreeing to contribute towards the survey, that particular hadn't been discussed. We're still trying to work out the whole terms of this transfer. But, I mean, really, it's all about serving all of Iberia Parish, not just the city, because they are gonna improve the building.
I surely understand that. I'm just saying they're gonna benefit big time from this, and I was just wondering if they had, if that discussion had even been had, that, hey, look, let's do a survey, we'll split it, anything like that, or we're gonna pay the whole amount?
We can definitely look into that and see if
That's all I'm
they're,
asking.
how we can do the split, but ultimately, that's gonna be something for you guys to approve. If they say no, I mean, you still have to evaluate whether this is still for the best
Well, look,
interest of all
I'm
your
not gonna
parish.
fight that, you know, I mean, if we wanna go ahead and the council wants to approve the survey, and maybe our distinguished mayor might say, hey, look, I'm gonna give you half of it back. He may not.
and if I can, one thing we need to do, Brian, and I'm with you 100%. One thing we need to do is make sure if we are giving away Iberia Parish's property, because we're basically donating this, we have to make sure that everything that we are doing is right. We have to make sure that, because this property, people are looking at this as being a building. The building is one little piece of this whole deal. It's 15 acres of property. And when you look at those types of things in my little rabbit mind, being involved in this for 25 years, I've always heard when you're getting rid of something, you have to get something back in value. You know, so we have to look at what it is that we're doing, what it is that we're planning to give away, and make sure that we are moving in a positive direction and doing what's right for Iberia Parish. Now, this is a benefit for everyone in the parish as well as the city, if we can make this work, because they have an opportunity, and this don't happen often, but they have an opportunity to get $2.6 million to do some work on that building. I don't have that opportunity. If you remember, when this conversation started 2 or 3 years ago, we were building a post-evacuation center. So that's why the conversation started. And that's not what we're talking about here, but I want to give you the whole deal. The reason the conversation started with the city, because when we were designing the post-evacuation building, we met with the dance teams. So it had a stage, it had the lighting, it had breakout rooms, it had, for quarantine and things like that. What I was talking to the mayor about 2 or 3 years ago, if we could donate that to them, keep it inside the city, and they could make it and use it for whatever they wanted to use it. Over the last 4 or 5 months, it became a totally different type of conversation. But this thing been going on for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where we're at.
And those just some questions I had, but if they help, good. If not, it's still, the city's gonna, the whole parish will benefit, whoever keeps it going. I agree.
The gentleman from District 11 yields back. I do have a couple of questions. So the survey the 12,000 is just not for a survey. You're gonna do a title search, you're gonna do some other extensive,
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm making sure that whatever we're gonna do with getting rid of this property, and you can talk as attorney, but we have to make sure 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when something come back, it's all done correctly.
So I guess when we start to do the title search, we'll make sure, I know we have contingencies on some of the property that the parish owns today. We'll make sure that there's no contingencies, like a donation from back in the day that came to us with a stipulation. Is that what we're looking for when we do?
Exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
You're trying to- This piece of, I don't know how long the property has been there, but I know the building been there since 1950 or something like that. So got a lot of history here, so we can't just fly through it really, really quick. We have to do what we have to do to get rid of it. I mean,
And I
we've
guess-
only been working on it for 2.5 years.
I guess the last question I had, maybe, Ian, you can help me. So once we subdivide from where the Devil's Pond is, from the track that Veterans Memorial is in, the parking lot and Veterans Memorial will become one track for us in the clerk's record, right?
Right.
Okay. And then once we have that, now listen, I know we go back and forth about the right-of-way issues. We've cleared that all up, correct? I just want to state that for the record. I mean, you and Jeff agree on an avenue of us getting that transfer, right?
Right, so the city park, I mean, there's a road in the city park. I don't know if it's dedicated as a road, but we could definitely put something in the titles that we don't waive access, in the event that they bulldoze the road that's been there
Correct.
for forever.
But the state declares law that we have a right to access our property anyways, even if
we
that
can-
would happen, right?
We can make sure that we reserve that
Okay.
in the transfer.
That's, I just wanted to make sure that was clarified. Appreciate it, Jim.
The last thing, Mr. Chairman, is the reason I wish this passed tonight is because you have to file for capital outlay by November the 1st. Now, don't get me wrong, you can actually do what's called a late submittal, but I know the city is looking forward to trying to have this stuff done for November the 1st, which I don't even know we're gonna have it done for November the 1st, but I'm gonna do the best I can.
They
They can do
It
a
can
late
still
submittal.
apply anyways, even if
Exactly.
it's not there. I mean,
Right.
I think I think the city's already moved in the direction of, they're giving him the authority to, so they're ahead of the game. I do have Councilman Peller, I'm sorry, did you?
You pretty much asked the exact same question I was gonna ask, if that's $12,000, was it gonna include the title search and the subdividing and everything on the
Be
yeah, I think we
$12,000.
talked about it in the last meeting, something like that, but
I don't wanna delay it and have to come back to the council.
No, that-
So whatever it is gonna go right
you
back to the
asked
fund
the
balance.
exact same question I was gonna ask.
The gentleman from District 10 yields back. Anyone else on main motion discussion, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on final adoption. Summary no more.
I have a suggestion. Since we were talking about it, I'd recommend that we at least amend it, to procure a survey and other required, research services, or just services in connection with the transfer.
I didn't want to come back and need to do a title search or something.
Well, that's why I'd asked, just to make sure, because it just said
Yeah.
survey.
That's why.
Yeah. Okay, the motion to amend is by Councilman Pellerin. Councilman Broussard, you want to stroke at that? Are you done with that for tonight? Anybody on the second the motion to amend by Pellerin? I have a second on the floor by Councilwoman Broussard. Is there any questions on the Pellerin amendment? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines on the amendment. We're amending the language to include and other services.
Not the money part.
No. Councilman Broussard, Councilman Swear, Councilman Corpel, Councilman Landry. That amendment by Pellerin passes unanimously. Now back to the main motion as amended. Vote your machines, members. Final adoption, summary number 197. That motion carries unanimously. Now moving on to ordinances introduced for publication. This is just for publication purposes, members. I have a summary number 50. For what purpose does the gentlewoman seek recognition?
I'd like to request waiving of the reading.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Broussard to waive the reading of the official journal. I have a second by Councilman Landry. Any discussion on that, members? Vote your machines. Councilman Brown, again, that's a
Are we
motion.
supposed to read them, or?
Well, you can dispense of it. We usually read for publication purposes. That motion to dispense passes unanimously. Moving on to announcements. The next council meet, for what purpose does it? Brock, you good? Okay. Moving on, next council meeting will be October 23rd at 6 o'clock. Remember to go to our parish government website to take the stormwater survey, and to look at our delicious Civic Source adjudicated properties. Could get a really good deal, Councilman Pellerin. Speaking of Councilman Pellerin, I have a motion on the floor to adjourn by Councilman Pellerin, second by Councilman Brown. Vote your machines, members, on adjournment. Councilman Brown. That motion carries unanimously. We're now adjourned. I now call the Iberia Parish Joint Committee meeting to order. The current time now is 6:54. I should probably say Wednesday, October 9th. Madam Clerk, please initiate the roll call.
Tommy Pollard. Michael Landry.
Here.
Marcus Broussard. Lloyd Brown.
Here.
Warren Goshenson.
Here.
Natalie Broussard. Dustin Swear.
Here.
James Trahan.
Here.
Scott Ronsonet. Brock Pellerin.
Here.
Brian Napier. Lady Fontanet Brown. Cayman Crapel.
Here.
Chad Mathurin.
10 members in the quorum. I need a motion to go into public comments. Have a motion by Councilman Capel, second by Councilman Broussard. Vote your machines, members. Go ahead, in voting. That motion carries unanimously. Let the record reflect that Councilman Rawsonate and Councilman Napier was absent at voting. Number one, comments from the general public on agenda items. We did not receive any. Number two, comments from the general public on non-agenda items. We did not receive any. Moving on to minutes for regular joint committee meeting of September 25th, 2024. I have a motion to accept by Councilman Trahan, second by Councilman Landry. Councilman Trahan, discussion. Councilman Landry. Any main motion discussion on the minutes, members? Hearing and seeing none, vote your machines, members. Final adoption of the minutes. Go ahead in voting. That motion carries unanimously. Let the record reflect that Councilman Rawsonate and Councilman Napier was absent at voting. I need a motion to go back into regular session. I have that motion by Councilman Broussard and Councilwoman Broussard. Vote your machines, members. You still didn't vote. You still didn't vote. Councilman Rawsonate. Let the record reflect that Councilman Rawsonate and Councilman Napier are back at voting, and that motion carries unanimously. We're now back into regular session. Moving on to executive committee by Michael R. Landry.
We're gonna call the executive committee meeting to order. The time is now 6:56. Number one, quarterly report of compensatory time for the Human Resource Department ending September 24th, 2024, all in accordance with resolution number 2014-33. This is for committee information only. No action is necessary. Anybody want to discuss anything, or we just gonna move on? I don't see nothing on the floor. Number two, discuss and consider an ordinance authorizing the issuance of sales tax revenue bonds of sales tax District Number 1 of the Parish of Iberia, State of Louisiana, providing for other matters in connection therewith. The parish president. I got a motion by Warren Gajazan. I need a second. Second by Scott Ronsonet. Warren?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we're that much closer to issuing these bonds. I think from what Jason had said, by the next meeting, he'll have those
Right.
set interest rates, and then we'll have more detail, what bank and who's picked us up and all that good stuff. So one more vote after this, and we're there, members.
Right. So, if I, well, it's not germane to this. We
I'll
did-
come back to you. Scott?
Well, that's it. It'd be nice to know those bonds before next week if possible.
Well, I talked to Jason today. I don't think he's gonna have it for next week.
No.
No.
So we probably looking at November?
You at our next meeting, we may have it, but not
Yeah, well,
next
that's-
meeting.
Okay, okay,
Right.
all right.
That's it. Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else? So vote your machines. And that motion, huh? Oh, Warren? Okay. That motion passes.
Second. Vote your machine.
Vote your machines to adjourn. No questions.
Yeah, we're gonna change it.
I'd like to call the Finance Committee meeting to order. The date is October 10th, 2024, 7 p.m. We have a train passing. Number one, discuss and consider a resolution amending the 2024 Iberia Parish Recreation District budget in the amount of $12,000 to provide emergency funding for the Generette Museum for emergency tree removal and an emergency roof repair of the Cypress Room Recreation and Playground Commission. I have a motion by Mr. Goshenson, a second by Mr. Napier. Mr. Goshenson,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, what concerns me is, all of a sudden, we get these emergency deals where we have to do emergency fundings from these different entities. Parish President Bo, I mean, at some point, we need to start getting with boards and commissions and have somebody, you know, we used to have somebody in-house that would go and evaluate. He was retained, he'd go look at these buildings. Or do we have, are we holding accountability to these boards and commissions of our buildings? Because all of a sudden, I mean, it's an emergency for the roof, so that tells me something's already went wrong with the roof.
I couldn't agree
And
with
now
you
we
more.
need to cut the tree.
I couldn't agree with you more. What we had when we first started, we had an architect that actually was on retainer, and he looked at every property that we had, and he told us everything that was going on, and some kind of way we decided to get rid of that. So,
I agree with that.
Can you
So
just kind of check with these, I mean, I know it's hard to keep contained of most of these boards and commissions, but, you know, when we start to talk about our roofs and these emergency repairs, we've seen it with the libraries, we've seen it with the parks. I know our buildings start to age at some time, but a lot of time, preventative maintenance can I mean,
agree
look,
with
the
you
tree, how long has this tree been hanging over the building?
couldn't
mean,
agree with you more.
stuff, just, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Napier.
So, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna find out after this meeting, because I know Mr. Boudreaux very well. And this is the first I hear of it too. I agree with you. But if we reading it right, it seems like maybe a tree fell on the roof. Did y'all hear
what it sounds
anything with the
like.
administration? Nothing?
really, this is disturbing to me, to be directly honest with
So
you.
I'm gonna talk to Tammy and to John. I mean, look, this is that little museum is a good little museum. They don't ask for a whole lot. I'm gonna try to find out exactly, especially with the roof, if they've been knowing, why is it labeled an emergency
Well,
repair? Now, I'm taking that a tree fell on it.
I can tell you one thing, Councilman. Tonight we have two directors that wasn't here to talk about something that they should be talking about. And it's not coming across well,
No,
to be directly honest with you.
No,
So anytime a director is putting something on the agenda, they need to be here to talk to
without
the
you
parish person.
knowing, you should
So
know. Yeah.
I hate to say this here, but the more I talk about it, believe
No,
me, we'll address that.
You should be concerned about it, but I'd like to know myself. Should we move it just to full council?
We can move it.
But let's see if it is an emergency. If y'all want to do that,
Oh, they will be here at the next meeting.
I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Landry, you have the floor.
Just a question, Larry. Why don't we have anybody checking our buildings? Was this funding or what? I'm just asking.
Well, the council several years back, stopped paying for that particular service.
I do believe, and I know this may not be the time and place, but I think we need to reinstate that because.
I think that
because
wouldn't
I'm
be
like
a
Warren,
bad
we
idea.
having a lot of problems. People coming up with, I need to have
listen.
this fixed.
Well, it all
We
depends
have,
on
we
who
have,
you get.
listen, believe it or not, listen,
Yeah.
guys, if I can just say this when we're talking about what you brought up, Mr. Chairman, Warren. We have a lot of issues that's taking place because we don't have a person here looking at all of our properties. You're gonna get a deal from me shortly. I talked to the finance chair, earlier this week about a roof leak that we have at another building. Now, the roof would always, it's gonna leak no matter if you have an architect or what. But they inspect that stuff, so they're going around checking things before it get really, really bad. So when you're paying someone, $15,000, $30,000 a year to do it, in the long run, you're coming big time ahead.
And
We need to consider that we need an engineer to do that.
Mr. Landry.
one of the things
We had
we
a very good person doing it.
Yeah, I think we need to be proactive instead of reactive.
I agree with you.
Because we reacting to problems
No doubt.
right now. We need to be
But this was
proactive.
a decision that I didn't, this is a decision that collectively was done, if y'all remember.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm good.
All right.
Good.
Mr. Gossison.
Yeah, I guess, I hate to put you on the spot, but in the event of an emergency like this, a major roof leak or something, I mean, you have the authority to go in, or at least their board has the authority to go in and address the problem without having to wait for council to do action,
Exactly.
correct?
Exactly. So when you look at something like that on a committee meeting, really and truthfully, their board could have authorized that, not even coming
Sure.
to the parish council.
They have plenty of money.
But, I'll go back to just say this again. This is the problem we have when we have breakdowns between boards and commissions and administration.
Yes.
I mean, if we'd all have communication between all of branches of government,
not
these
gonna
things
work.
wouldn't slip through like this.
Exactly.
I'm good, Mr. Chairman.
All right, move it.
Mr. Swear.
So,
So-
thank you. Correct
so
me
you
if I'm
need to-
wrong, but the number in the resolution is 12.5, or if it reads in our language, it's asking for 12,000. So, want to make sure we're on the same
Only
page
seen
here.
12.
'Cause-
No.
So in the letter that
resolution
Parks and Rec
itself.
sent,
The letter that Parks and Rec sent.
right here, it's showing 12.5,
Yeah.
but in our language right now, it's showing 12,000. So I just want to make sure that
It is 12.5.
That's 12.5.
It's 12.5.
But your resolution is saying
Not
12.
not on the res.
Tell them.
Or
Oh, the agenda, what the agenda is.
says
Correct, so
12,000,
do you-
but the
do you wanna-
resolution says 12.5, so
Well,
I guess I need.
either somebody
saying
needs
it's
to
$500
move it
short.
forward. We can move it forward as is and amend later after we get the director here. That'd probably be the best thing. to
Right,
do.
that's what I would do.
So we can
Alright.
try to get
Oh,
Tammy
yeah, we
over
get-
here to
oh, yeah.
explain it?
Right.
Are you good with that, Mr. Swear?
all right, that's fine. Yeah, I'm done.
Good catch.
It's a
though.
very
Yeah.
good catch, Dustin.
Mr. Trump.
Good catch.
Yeah, I just want to say if it's an emergency, seems like somebody would be here to clear this up for us, if it's that much of an emergency. So
That's what I'm saying.
maybe we need to, wait till they come and see what they gonna say. Or maybe we'll put it on for next meeting.
We gotta move it. We gotta
Push
move
it,
it.
though.
Let's move it.
You good, Mr. Trump?
Yeah, I'm good. I just want to make a statement that, next time somebody needs something, they might want to be here,
Especially in emergency.
especially emergency.
I do agree with that. If it's an emergency, somebody should be here.
Let's move it.
Any further discussion?
No, that's it.
All right, we voting to, just on the amendment as is. Please vote your machines.
Oh, God, it's a lot. Jason
Mr.
too.
Napier,
Jacob
it
too.
didn't go through.
What?
Her. Then Jacob.
That motion passes with 1 against Mr. Tronhon in the nay.
Making a point, you making a point.
Number 2, discuss and consider a resolution amending the 2024 general fund budget in the amount of $1,100 for the purchase of 2 signs for the dedication of Admiral Dahl Drive in Iberia Parish as Veterans Memorial Drive, Warren P. Gossison Jr., District 5. I have a motion by Mr. Gossison, a second by Mr. Pellerin. Mr. Gossison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Early on in the years, members, you passed a resolution dedicating Admiral Dahl as a Veterans Memorial. I know it says us purchasing it, but this will be $1,100 that'll be given to DOTD to purchase and put the signs up. I believe the city, they all left. The city's participating in its portions also of the highway. So it's just the dedication of the signs on our part.
I'm good.
You good? Mr. Pellerin.
Mr. Gottschalk, you might be able to answer this to me. The DOT's only allowing us to put 2 signs, am I correct?
These are the 2 signs that we are allowed to put, that is correct.
Yeah, I got a phone call on that. We can only put 2 signs up. I'm good.
And we still have to get some clarification from legal and some of this stuff too.
Yeah.
It's an obstacle course.
Yeah. I'm good.
You good, Mr. Pellerin? Mr. Parish President? you
So,
had
so where you guys want us to put these 2 signs?
The location has not been determined yet.
Well,
Will DOTD it? I guess I was gonna ask you, but here you go. You got the floor, Mr. Goshstein.
yeah, so DOTD has 2 parts that they want to put them at. And I think we'll get you that. We're waiting on to get that from them. But again, we still need to get through legal and y'all to get to this point. This is to get the funding going and then the clarification at the final, for final adoption.
When we dedicated Admiral Dahl Drive, Do you guys know where you dedicated from? From like, say for like the air base to?
We did stipulate it in the resolution. I can't tell you offhand, but I know it starts at 88, and I think it.
It's all the way in Generator.
Well, it stops some in the city.
The parish flag stops. Now it takes off again, but it
Right.
stops at Amador, and then it
Well,
takes.
we are talking about Amador.
Huh?
That's what we're talking about, yeah.
No, I'm saying it stops at Jefferson Island, coming from the base, but then it takes off after,
That's why I need to know where you want to put them signs. Do you want to put the signs from Jefferson Island to the air base, or?
We'll have that for
Okay.
you, sir.
parish again.
No, it's from there by, right about
Okay.
Well, that's, so that starts again.
All right. If
You
it,
were there.
So you're gonna have to put it all the way down.
So what am I?
all right, other than where we putting the signs, any further discussion? Please vote your machines on the amendment as stated.
So.
Mr. Gosh,
Talk to him after.
You wanna vote?
yes or no?
Okay.
I'll take a yes, Mr. Chairman.
That motion passes unanimously with Mr. Gosh in favor. Motion to adjourn? I got a motion by Mr. Peller and a second by Mr. Capel. Please vote your machines on adjournment. Adjourn.
Call the Public Health and Safety Committee meeting to order. The date is October 9th, 2024. The time is 7:12. Item number 1, discuss and consider incorporating behavioral health to the Public Health and Safety Committee due to the growing importance of mental health, addiction services, and overall well-being of the community in an effort to reduce the following: disease and injury prevention, health promotions, reduction of health disparities, and mental and behavioral health services. Lady Fontenette Brown, District 12. Note, this item was deferred at the September 25th, 2024 Iberia Parish Joint Committee meeting. I have a motion by Mr. Brock Pellerin and a second by Mr. Lloyd Brown. Mr. Pellerin?
I'm just asking, did anybody talk to the lady about this? Are we deferring this again, or?
Mr. Brown did talk to, would you like to
I'll
defer to
wait.
Mr. Brown?
Yep, I'll wait till Mr. Brown.
I talked to Lady Brown, and she said that she needed to get some more information, so she would rather that we just go on and delete it till she get her.
So, if there's no other discussion on the main motion, I'll take Mr. Lloyd's motion to delete. Do I have a second to his motion to delete? I have a second by Mr. Pellerin. Any discussion on the deletion? Vote your machines. This one's mine. That motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn. I have a motion by Mr. Gosherson, a second by Mr. Broussard. Vote on adjournment.
Yeah, come on. Come sit here, Warren.
That motion, Brian, vote to adjourn.
Warren, come
Vote
sit
to
here.
adjourn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That motion carries.
I want to call the Public Works Committee to order. It's 7:14. Item number 1, discuss and consider resolution amending resolution number 2011-61 adopted March 9th, 2011, which approved a list of parish drainage channels to be sprayed. Ditches and channels is listed in order to add a drainage ditch located near Morgan Street, Walter Booty Street, and Captain Booty Street, located in Generate, to the spray list located in District 12. Lady Fontenette Brown, District 12. I have a motion by Mr. Warren Gotchison, second by Michael Landry. Mr. Gotchison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess I do have a question for the administration. The last time we talked about including an additional request in the spray list, have we determined if we are gonna make it through the fund balance?
Yes, we're fine.
We gotta be close, huh?
I checked with Michelle and I checked with Jeanette at Public Works, and they said that we're fine. The ones that we had put on last time, they had already calculated in.
Okay.
And I told them that we were looking at probably a few more, and they said that we were gonna make the year.
Okay, just wanna make sure.
If I can add something right there, Council, I'm actually talking to the Public Works Department about outsourcing more of these types of things. Not only talking about spraying, your ditches and your channels. I'm also talking to them about doing roadside work, repairs on the road with potholes and things like that nature. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go through this year budget, just so everyone's gonna know. And when the next year start, I'm gonna come back to the Parish Council to try to amend the budget to start putting monies, if we have to. We may not have to, but I want y'all to know what it is that
Well,
we're
if
doing.
that's what it takes to get things
Right,
done.
we gotta
I
get
agree.
things done.
You've been saying that, Chet.
Right.
Okay, you good with, Mr.
I'm
Michaud?
great, thank you, sir.
Mr. Gotcha, Mr. Landry?
And Larry, you kinda answered what I was gonna talk about it, cause I know we have discussed outsourcing some of this stuff. Cause they got a couple of canals and stuff we sprayed in my district, but the grass down, but they still high. So,
Right.
I mean, we gotta
we
start,
got- yeah.
we gotta start
Getting out of
moving this
hand.
along.
One of the, we in committee, everything is televised now, so
Yeah.
you can't really talk like you used to, but we gotta say what it is, because it is
Oh,
what it
yeah.
is.
Let it fly.
We, when you take a look at what's going on right now, trying to hire employees, it's not that easy to hire employees anymore, especially when you're paying them certain dollar amounts.
Yeah.
I understand.
So when I'm talking about hiring 5 employees, for example, in Public Works, and those 5 employees that you're gonna hire by the time you do the benefits and pay them, you might be talking $250,000. That sounds like a lot of money, but it's really not that much money. But for $250,000, when I'm outsourcing this type
Yeah,
of
you
work,
could get a lot
I
done.
can get a lot of work done.
That might be the thing to do.
And until we can get our pay to where we can pay employees to come here and start working,
And stay.
that's right, I'm going to try to do a lot of outsourcing.
I'm with you on that.
So,
Mr.
yeah.
Landry?
Yeah,
You good?
I'm good, thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else on this matter? Okay, so we voting on this spray list, put these streets on the spray list and generate vote your machines. Oh, I'm sorry, go, Marcus, I asked and you were late.
He said, yeah.
I didn't see it.
I think on the wrong, am I reading this right? That's Natalie's.
No, that's Natalie's,
That's
the
the
one
next
before
one.
that.
That's right, we go back to,
Yeah, not that one, the one before that, Karen.
That's number 1, huh?
That's it. That's it.
That's number 2. That's number 2.
this guy is number 1.
Well, on the agenda,
one with Lady
you
Brown.
can leave it there, we coming to that one. But you heard what I said, these are in District 12, in Lady Brown's district. Everybody's good? Vote your machines.
Clear.
Everybody's good? Who didn't vote? Warren? That motion carries. Item number 2, discuss and consider resolution amending resolution number 2011. Huh?
That's it, go ahead.
Dash 61 adopted March 9th, 2011, which approved the list of parish drainage channels to be sprayed, ditches and channels is listed in order to remove a drainage ditch located at Timberstone Drive and Barrow Street from the spray list located in District 6, Natalie Broussard, District 6. I got a motion by Natalie Broussard, a second by Warren Gotcha. Ms. Broussard?
Yeah, I got a request to have these removed from the spray list because culverts have been put in and the ditch doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. That's good.
You good? Thank you, Ms. Broussard. Mr. Gotcha?
Second, wave.
Second wave, okay. Any main motion discussion? Seeing none, vote your machines on taking these roads off of the spray list. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn the Public Works Committee. Got a motion by Marcus, a second by Brock. Any discussion on getting out of here? No? Vote your machines.
That was,
That motion adjourned.